I grew up here. This is my place, this island. I love it. Dad would wake me up early in the mornings and he would tell me to go splash cold water on my face so that I could wake up. And I would always go outside and look at the wind in the trees and see how much the branches were blowing, because if it was too windy, my dad said we couldn't go, and I didn't want to not be able to go fishing. And then we would get in our old Ford truck and we would drive to the state park. And I just remember driving down that hill and seeing the moonlight on the waters. Dad always said the early bite is best, and so we try to make it in time to get that early salmon bite. I remember fishing with Dad. It's magical. There's something about it, being with your dad.
My father took me out fishing when I was young, and we rowed a boat across the north end of Lake Sammamish to fish for perch and trout. I grew to love fishing. Out on the water early in the morning when it's calm and you hear the seagulls and you have the anticipation of catching a salmon, and it's just beautiful and it's magical. I went back to visit you in Indianapolis, and we ended up not seeing much of the town that trip because all I was doing was illustrating, and you were illustrating too with me, and we had a lot of fun. It's always a hope and a prayer that fathers would take their boy or girl out and do special things. It might not be a fishing trip, it might be a walk. Anything to spend time with your parent. And in this case, fishing was a great bond. Anything that binds us together, whether it be fishing or a sport or whatever activity it might be. I think it could be music, it could be anything. I think it's important. I think it's very important. Any book that brings out the good in a parent or a child, I think is my hope and prayer.
I'm Ann Dorsey, and I'm the mother of Jason and two other wonderful kids, and the wife of Jack. I'm just thrilled. It's such a wonderful, it's such a wonderful marriage of the beautiful story, actually, and the idea of family and doing something with your children that you enjoy, and come to find out it might end up being a favorite memory of theirs. And I love a good children's book. I believe you can make sacred memories when you read and you share at a special level.
I remember fishing with Dad began as a series of memories, taking the boat to the state park here and launching the boat and fishing and the salt and the seagulls. But for me, the greatest part of fishing with Dad was just being with Dad, being together with him. The children's picture book, I Remember Fishing with Dad, tells the story of a boy who fishes with his dad on a derby, and how they have some trouble at the very beginning starting the boat. But eventually they're able to get the motor started. They head off to their favorite fishing hole and they fish, and the boy catches a salmon, and he's excited about that, but he knows it's not big enough to win. And so they keep fishing. Eventually it's almost time for the salmon derby to be over, and the boy begs his dad just to keep trying a little bit more, and they put their line down one last time, and lo and behold, the father catches this big king salmon, and has this great fight with the king salmon, brings it in, and the boy nets the salmon. This is the place that they weighed the fish in. Is that right?
Correct.
So we brought the fish in off the boat. We would have walked up here. There would have been scales and fishermen, and you had you knew that you had a pretty good fish.
Well, I was hoping I did. It was a surprise to me. It was a 10-pound, 5-ounce silver.
My dream for I Remember Fishing with Dad is to tell a story that will instruct kids about salmon fishing, tell them some of the lore of salmon fishing, that it would delight them. Parents who read this book to their children would be inspired to make memories, sacred memories.